Okay. Hello everybody. Can you see me? Yes, you can. My name is Rohan. Today I'm going to be talking about a new thing I'm starting. I'm a YouTuber, and I'm a guy who's trying to make it. So I've heard a lot of people talk about New Year's resolutions, and I'm scared of being one of those people who says I'm going to do something and I'm going to become somebody at the end of the year and ending up not doing anything with that. So I was thinking, how do I actually change my life this year? Because I do not want to be in the same place financially, mentally, spiritually, in all areas. I do not want to be in the same place I am by the end of 2026. And I thought of this idea called Project Icarus. And basically, to explain what Project Icarus is my whole life, I believe that the one thing that's been holding me back is my anxiety. And when I say that, I'm not trying to say it from a woe is me perspective. I'm saying it from a genuine perspective of every time I make a decision or action in any sort of way, the first thing that I think of is, what's the worst thing that could happen? Oh my God, is this going to turn out into and become some sort of fatal catastrophe that will ruin my career or ruin my life? And I think of these drastic consequences constantly, and it prevents me from actually creating and taking action. And the second thing is, it's always been wrong. I always get these fears of random things in my life, and based on my actual experience of things that have happened, my anxiety has never been correct. I can't remember a single time it's actually accurately predicted a bad circumstance to happen. I've had bad circumstances happen to me. I've gotten age restrictions, I've gotten copyright strikes, I've gotten all those things, and whenever those things happen, my anxiety was never accurately predicting what was happening. So I'm realizing, hey, there's this thing in my mind that's constantly giving me the worst case scenario. And even when the worst case scenario, quote unquote, happens, it never warns me of that worst case scenario. So what the fuck is the point of this? It feels like the most useless thing ever. It feels like the most useless distraction that doesn't actually get me farther. And I think also, I'm a YouTuber. I've gotten pretty good success in my YouTube videos. I've gotten videos with millions of views, 400,000 views, 100,000 views, 200,000 views. I've got more than 12 million views total across all platforms. And I say this to say that every time I actually made a video that did well, that actually really connected with people too, I was never in a state of anxiety. I was actually extremely present, in more of the opposite, which is what I would consider a flow state. And because of that, I think that bled into my interaction with the audience. And my point is, what I'm trying to basically say with all this information is, I realize, hey, I have to work on my mental, a lot. I've worked on my mental over the past couple years, but I need to work on my mental way, 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 way more. And I thought of this idea called Project Icarus. If my anxiety has held me back, if my anxiety is constantly distracted with negative thoughts, and most importantly, if my anxiety has not been correct, what if it's always been wrong and it's just gotten power in my life because it stayed in my mind long enough? And Project Icarus was known as flying too close to the sun, right? But I feel like if the sun represents my potential and the sun represents our potential, I don't feel like we are even close, reasonably close in flying close to our own suns. So what if, instead of trying to constantly limit myself with a predisposed idea of what reality is and what negative consequences and what fatal consequences I'll experience in life, what if I just said fuck all that? And what if I tried to aim for the best possible? What if I tried to take my life as far as I could and imagine the most, even to a delusionally optimistic or naive perspective, imagine the best circumstances happening? Think of the best case scenario, honestly, and constantly push myself in that regard. Fly too close to the sun. Keep thinking, what if we could take this farther? What if we could even go bigger? What if life could end up better than I could even expect? What if the future is better than the present? What if whatever I want to believe is true? There's a lot of beliefs in life will I fall off? I don't want to fall off. So what if I won't? And I know that has as much weight to it as me saying I will. I know this is not a logical thought process, but What if things turn out exactly the way you want? Or what if things turn out better than the way you want? What if you have nothing to worry about? And live in this reality of flying too close to the sun if the sun represents the best case scenario. Even if it means being slightly delusional, I want to make that habit because I'd rather be delusional and wrong than not delusional and wrong as well. You see what I'm saying? Like, it feels like whether I'm delusional or I'm not delusional, whether I'm positive or whether I'm negative, I'm still wrong. I'm still not getting this shit right. I'm still not predicting the game. I'm still not finding the formula, but I feel like if I'm wrong no matter what, might as well believe things I'd like to believe. Might as well live in a positive mindset and a positive worldview because I've always been my biggest critic, my biggest skeptic, you know, because I don't want to fail, but it's like, I think life has taught me more than anything. Painting a positive worldview is just the better option because you're going to be wrong anyway. So Project Icarus is going to be an experience and a project I'm going to take 2026 on. And I'm going to be documenting hopefully everything through here. I don't know if these videos will be super entertaining, but maybe they'll be entertaining down the line for you to understand my thought process. They're more to hold myself accountable of my potential. But Project Icarus is going to be reaching the maximum of my potential and not limiting myself and reaching financial, reaching emotional, spiritual, mental, intellectual maxes in my potential, physical maxes in my potential, and basically letting the world humble me versus humbling myself before the world even gets a chance to see my full potential. So I wanted to share that with you. I'm going to start making more videos like this.